Hello everybody, it's time today to talk to you about feedback. Now in the VIPKID community, feedback is very important because the parents want to know how their students are doing. So it's up to us as teachers, naturally, to assess the children and give the parents some positives and some negatives if they're there to help the child progress in their English language learning. Now, the more practice you get with feedback, the better you'll get with it. But there are also some other online options to help you generate feedback if you're just kind of drawing a blank. So let's start with the manual side and then we'll go to the online side. You can determine which one is best for you. It's important to know that first, as part of your VIPKID contract, when it comes to getting paid, you need to do feedback. If you don't do feedback, then, well, you don't get paid. So that's why it's critical that you master this and make it as effortless as possible.
Did I say effortless? Effortless, y'all.
That's why you make this as effortless as possible. If you don't provide feedback within 12 hours of the class, then you only get 50% of your pay. And after 24 hours, if you haven't completed feedback, then you're not going to get paid at all. So you just gave a student and a parent a free class because you didn't do your feedback. So in order to get paid, make sure you keep that first in your head. Okay, so starting out as a new teacher, you're probably wondering, what type of feedback should I give the student? How do I write it up? Well, the general rule of thumb is you want to give 3 positive things that the child did in class and 1 thing that they can work on outside of the classroom. Now, VIPKID's classes are 25 minutes in length, and you can build a good little foundation during that 25 minutes, but it's really going to be up to the student and to the parents to work on these concepts outside of the classroom. Now, more often than none, the parents are going to go back and they're going to review the classroom video and they're going to see what you covered with the kid, how well you did, how the child did, etc. and so on. In addition, it's good to know that the parents could be sitting in the background watching you out of sight. They can also watch it remotely on their mobile phones in another room. So when you're teaching, keep that in mind as well. But generally the parents will go back and review the videos. You do have those parents, as in any classroom setting, who aren't going to go in and review the videos. So they're not really going to know how their child is doing outside of the feedback that you leave. So it's important to give them something tangible that they can work on outside of the classroom. Now, there are going to be many online programs that you can use to complete your feedback, and we're going to talk about those in a minute. Now, teachers like me, I prefer to just manually do my feedback. The more you do feedback, the faster you're going to get, the easier it's going to come to you. I can basically complete my feedback now within that 5-minute break in between my classes. There are rare occasions if I have something, exceptional I want to, praise the child about, I may go a little longer in my feedback. Or if there's something, just horrific that I really need to cover in the feedback, then yeah, it's going to take longer than 5 minutes. But I'll generally start it, save it, teach my class, and then come back. But the more you do it, you should be able to complete your feedback within that 5-minute break if you're ending at the 25-minute mark in between classes. Now, if not, a lot of teachers like to do it at the end of all their classes. That can be a little difficult depending on how many classes you're teaching, because they're going to start blending in with one another and you're really going to start forgetting what you covered, what reward system you used, etc. and so on. So it's best to try and complete it in between the classes if you can. If not, at least in between classes, jot down some notes after class so that you can provide the feedback that you need. But let's look at some manual ways to start the conversation. Okay, so let's look at your feedback from the standpoint of your good student or your amazing student. These students are very easy to do feedback for because they're doing well in the class. They're picking the concepts up fairly easily, and you don't really have any disciplinary issues of any sort. So I did an assessment earlier today, and let me read you the feedback that I did for this student on his assessment. And I'm going to read it straight from the screen, but I wrote, "Ricky did a good job today on his assessment. He's a very smart little boy. He did exceptionally well on his English grammar. Please have him practice answering incomplete sentences. He has a tendency to just respond with one word. He does very well, though, in talking with the teacher. I enjoy teaching Ricky, and I gave him 5 stars today." What do you think? Pretty basic, right? I gave them the positives, told them how great their child was, that I thought he was really smart, etc., and so on, but that he needed to work on his basically responding in complete sentences, which was true, because he had that tendency to just say yes or no, or just give me that one word response. So we needed to work more on, the fact that he needs to work on his complete sentences. Doesn't mean the child didn't do good on his assessment overall. It's just that one area that he really needs to work on. So that's just a basic, simple little feedback. All right, here's another feedback from one of my students that I taught earlier today. Alvin did very well in today's lesson. He is a very smart boy and he always participates well in class. We talked about traveling to America. Alvin was able to tell me that he wants to travel to America to see San Francisco and New York City. This is very good because it shows that he has excellent English conversational skills. Today we learned that when we write, we use letters in America and characters in China. Please have Alvin review this concept so that it will help prepare him for his upcoming assessment. He was able to tell me about his family and that he loves to take pictures of his family. Again, this is showing very good conversational skills. I am very impressed with Alvin's skill level, and I gave him 5 stars today. Okay, so you can see that basically it's short, simple, and sweet. I'm telling them what the child is doing really well and the things that they need to work on. Now, I always try to prepare the student naturally for the upcoming assessment. That's what you want to do. These lessons are building them up to take that unit assessment to see what they have learned. So I always put in there, in the feedback, have so-and-so work on blah, 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 and this will help to prepare them for their upcoming assessment. Because testing in China is very important. Education in general is important, but they're very focused on testing. So when they know that the student needs to work on something to prepare them for an upcoming test, they have a tendency to help the child a little more. Now, feedback when it comes to a problem child tends to get a little more difficult because you don't want to step on anybody's toes and you don't want the parents to be upset or think that you're calling their child, dumb, which we're not. But you never know how the misinterpretation could come across in writing. So when it comes to feedback, you still need to be honest, but just how you say it might take some finessing. So let's take a look at the problem children. All right, so let's call this child X. And X has just totally disregarded you, not paying you any attention, maybe playing on their phone or playing with some toys. They'll parrot back to you, but not really learning anything. And when you ask them to read, they're just like, whatever. So I might say something like, "It was nice to see X in class today. Unfortunately, X was distracted during the lesson. It's important for X to focus on the lesson in order to truly learn the English language. I would like X to practice her reading. X needs to be able to read more independently in order to move up in the lessons. Unfortunately, due to her lack of participation, I was only able to give X 3 stars today. I do look forward to seeing her in a future class, and I look forward to giving her 5 stars. Okay, let's not forget now that even in the most negative of classroom settings, the parents still want to know that their child is doing something good. So you could say something like, I know that X is a very smart girl and she knows the answers. I just need her to focus and participate more in class so that she can truly learn the English language. So you're telling the parent, you know, I know your kid is smart and it's in there somewhere. We just got to pull it out. So just remember to add some positives into your negative feedback. Granted, you're going to have more negative comments, but it's the nature of the game. I mean, you're going to have that in a brick and mortar classroom as well. Now, I do have a PDF file of what I call feedback conversation starters, and it's ways to start saying things differently, because when you have regular students, if you start copy and pasting and saying the same thing over and over and over again, eventually the parent's going to come back with a negative rating on you, because they're going to feel like you're not truly giving them valuable feedback. You're just kind of, boom, you know, copy and pasting, changing some things, and boom, you're done. So that's why I choose to do manual feedback over a lot of the online programs. Now, it'll come more naturally to you as you start doing it more and more, and it just may take a moment for you to think of something new and creative to say. But there are also those online platforms that you can use. Now, if you would like a copy of my PDF template to kind of get you started with feedback, then email me and let me know, and I'll be happy to send you a copy. But let's go on and talk about some of the online ways that you can generate feedback quickly as well. All right, probably the #1 online feedback generator that most VIPKID teachers use is Feedback Panda. And that's because Feedback Panda seems to integrate seamlessly with the VIPKID teacher portal. A lot of teachers love it. They think it's a great way to generate feedback quickly. And it also allows them to keep notes. Feedback Panda undoubtedly lets you know if you've had a student before. It kind of lets you build that database of what's going on with the student. So a lot of teachers like it. It's $15 a month or $150 a year. So if the $15 a month investment is, you know, worth it because this is your business, then by all means check it out. They do have a 30-day free trial before, you know, you'd have to start paying. So it gives you a good amount of time to go in there and truly check it out. Like I said, a lot of teachers like it. I personally just like writing authentic, fresh feedback instead of having a program generate it for me. So I didn't use it, but several teachers that I've helped through the application process have used it, and they absolutely love it. So I'll put all the links in the description box below to every online platform that we talk about today. Now, there is a free online tool, and it's eslreports.com, and it has basically like an individual generator, comment feedback generator, and it has a bulk generator. So you can go in and kind of play around. It's very simple, very easy to use. You would simply go in there and click on Comment Builder if you want to do feedback for one particular child. Now, this is a free online platform, so it's not like Feedback Panda where it's going to save everything that you're doing. It's basically like a one-shot. You go in, create it, boom, you're done. It doesn't save anything. You're not building any files, anything like that. But you go into their comment builder and you basically click on what type of feedback do you want to do. Anything goes, which means, you know, positive, negative, whatever. You know, only positive, you know, some negative. And you basically kind of, you know, tell them what you want. When you go into the platform, you're going to put basically the student's name, and it's going to allow you to generate feedback in areas that you think will apply, like speaking, participation, and behavior. And it's neat because, one, it's free, and two, it gives you basically the blurb when you're done that you can copy and paste and put it right into your feedback in the VIPKID platform. So I used that initially in the beginning when I was introduced to Feedback Panda, but didn't want to pay the price for it. And I liked it. It was good. But like I said, I'm just one of those manual feedback people. So, but check it out. Like I said, the link will be in the description below. Now this is ESLreport.com, and as you can see, you can do a comment builder. That's basically the section that you're going to want to focus on for doing feedback. So you'll click on comment builder, and then you can tell them, you know, how do you want it? Anything goes, mostly positive, which means you're going to have some negatives in there, or just totally positive. I generally pick the mostly positive because I want that good mix of positive feedback in with, you know, a few things that they can work on. So you simply click on it, and it's going to bring up their little online form. You're going to put the student's name here, their gender, and what the topic was. I generally put the lesson, and then it's going to let you pick the different areas. So you've got behavior and speaking, reading. Now writing we're not going to use because they don't write, so I generally, you know, don't add that comment. But basically you'd go in and, you know, once you put the child's name up here, it's going to fill it in and apply it into the box down here, and create basically feedback that you can copy and paste and put into VIPKID. So let me generate a feedback for you, and we'll see how it goes. All right, so you can see that I filled it in. I entered a boy's name, Aaron, clicked that he was male, and the lesson that we're working on is My Friends and I. So in here, I can click basically on like my introduction. If you don't like the introduction that they have here, you know, it's going to put the child's name and say effort has improved recently. All right, I don't really care for that. So you can click on the little link here, and it's going to regenerate something else. So, okay, this is a good one. I like this one. It puts the child's name, and then it says, is a happy and delightful child, and I'm happy to teach him or her. So yeah, I want that. So I'm going to go over here and click add comment. And that's basically it. You'll go down the list. If you don't like what's there, click regenerate, and it's going to regenerate a new one. So let me generate some feedback, and then I'll show you how it all comes together at the bottom. All right, in a specific section, if you want to add something twice, like say you like two things from the behavior area, you simply generate, see what you like, click add comment over here, and then just go back and regenerate and click add comment again when you find something you like, and it'll add two things from that section. So it's going to put it down into a nice little paragraph here at the bottom. And basically this says, Aaron is a happy and delightful child, and I'm happy to teach him. Sometimes he gets distracted in class, but mostly he is attentive and well behaved. His vocabulary has grown and improved a lot lately. His pronunciation is good. Aaron should be proud of his reading ability. Aaron is able to read at an appropriate level for this class. He listens attentively and always understands what I'm explaining. Aaron has demonstrated a detailed grasp of the My Friends and I topic that we covered in class. Aaron is doing very well in class. Now, granted, you can go back and tweak it, you know, however you want it when you copy and paste it. But I mean, simply, you know, you're just basically copying it, and then you're going to go paste it into the teacher portal. It doesn't get any easier than that. Now, the teachersroom.net also has a feedback generator, which is much like ESLreport.com. So they're kind of tit for tat. You could check it out and see which one you like best, but they basically do almost the same thing. So look for the link below and kind of compare ESLreport.com and, you know, the teachersroom.net and see which one you like better. All right, the Teacher's Room does about the same thing. It just doesn't give you as many options as ESLreports.com. So you can do the same thing, see if you like what is being said, click regenerate if you don't. If you don't want this line period, then just click remove. So I'm going to add, I seem to learn something new about Aaron every day. I enjoy when he participates during my lessons. That sounds good. It's always nice to see him work hard on the bookwork. Okay, well, that's not going to apply to us, so let's regenerate. All right, so it's always great to see him determined to do well in his studies. That might be a good one. When he is focused, he works very diligently. I like that. He has shown that he can learn new vocabulary quite quickly when he studies hard. Let's regenerate. He has learned many new words through the class readings and our lessons. Okay, I like that. His pronunciation is always improving. As long as he's not shy. No. All right, I always try to encourage him to practice his speaking in class so he can continue to improve. When he practices his reading, he shows a better understanding of the material. He learns quickly from the corrections I make to his written work. Okay, so we don't do any writing, so we're going to remove this line period. And then we're just going to do a conclusion. So it'll say, Aaron has shown that with hard work and studying, he is capable of being an excellent English student. Okay, so I like that. So we're going to go down here and just click auto generate. And you can see it has kind of filled in a blurb that you can tweak as you need to fit you a little better and your style, but something you can copy and paste. So Teacher's Room is pretty much like ESLreports.com. Just ESLreports.com gives you a little bit more flexibility and the ability to add multiple things from a section. Whereas the Teacher's Room, you pretty much have this one blurb and that's it, and it builds it down here. Okay, I totally apologize for having to hold my camera while videoing my computer, but I got a new computer and I haven't figured out just yet how the recording program in it works, so bear with me. Hopefully you got the gist of it. But basically you can see outside of manual feedback, which works for someone like me, there are 3 options, 1 that you have to pay for and 2 that are free that you can use to generate feedback easily and quickly for your students. Now, like I said, Feedback Panda seems to work wonders for many, and if the $15 a month is worth it to you, then by all means try it out. Do that 30-day free trial. No, I'm not plugging them because I don't use them, so it's not like I get anything for telling you to use them. But anything that has a 30-day free trial, I'm all for it because I don't have to pay for it, and if I don't like it, I haven't lost anything. So check them out, but in the meantime, if you just want a free option to start giving you something different to say, then check out ESLreports.com, or of course check out the Teacher's Room. Again, the links are going to be below. And like I said, I do have a PDF file of what I call feedback starters. So if you are interested in getting that free sheet, no strings attached, it's just something I generated to help my applicants who became teachers. So if you would like that, my contact information is below in the description box. Just email me and I'll be happy to send it to you. Until then, happy teaching, and remember, whether you have a great child or a terrible child, you have the ability to work from home in your PJs and set your own schedule and make money from anywhere in the world. So if that's not something to smile about, I don't know what is. Have a great day.